Rumour has it that when Queen Victoria made this journey, the blinds on the carriage window were closed to avoid the view. The bottom of Corporation Street, Birmingham. And here's the ramp that leads to the entrance to Grand Central and New Street Station. It's the day that Ozzy the Bull, star of the opening ceremony of the Commonwealth Games, has returned to his permanent home at New Street Station. It's good to see him back, and a good crowd of people has turned out to see him, and I've no doubt he'll prove an attraction for many years to come. It's time to look at the departures board and look for the next local train to Wolverhampton. Here it is. It's all stops across the Black Country. We'll leave the concourse and go down to the platform. Down the escalator to get to the platform. The indicator board shows that the train's due. The train's arriving. It's come all stops from Walsall, so it's time to get on for the journey to Wolverhampton. Well, we're off. Past the Black Horse, and we're on our way across the Black Country. The old New Street signal box, now unused, but it's a listed building. A little further on, and we pass the Soho depot of West Midlands Railway. It's not long before we're pulling into our first stop, Smethwick Rolfe Street. This platform has been improved recently. There's a brand new lift, brand new staircase. You can see where the old staircase was. On the right, it's been bricked up. Exit the station, turn left, and you come to the busy junction of Tollhouse Way and Union Street, Soho Way. Look to the right, and traffic is coming from the Black Country. Look to the left, and it's all going towards Birmingham. This part of Smethwick High Street runs parallel to Tollhouse Way. Here's the toll house that gives the road its name. It was part of the Birmingham, Wolverhampton, Dudley Turnpike between 1760 and 1876. Smethwick Library is in a building that was originally the town hall. On completion of a new council house, the town hall was abandoned in 1907. In 1927, the building was converted to the library. The building in the middle on the corner looks like an old bank branch. The sign on the side door shows it was part of the Midland Bank and finished life as an HSBC branch. Likewise, the building on the opposite corner. It dates from 1905 and was a Lloyds Bank branch. Both buildings are in need of a little TLC. Further up the street is the Sikh Gurdwara. It was established in 1958 in an old church. That building was demolished, replaced, and in 2012 a £5 million extension was completed. Further extensions and refurbishments were carried out in 2016 to give us the building we see today. Opposite the Gurdwara there's a paved area with at the far end a statue. The inscription reads, "Lions of the Great War." It is a statue of a proud Sikh soldier and is dedicated to the men of all faiths who served in the Great War and other conflicts. Beyond the statue there is a Bolton and Watt governor. It was used to regulate the steam engines in the canal pump houses along the Galton Valley. Holy Trinity Church is just off the High Street. It dates from 1837 but was largely rebuilt in 1889. In 1975, a foyer, kitchen and toilet facilities were added and the pews were replaced. The High Street continues down Cape Hill towards Birmingham. Back at the station, the area beyond is being redeveloped. Rolfe Street Baths stood in this area. It has been taken down and re-erected at the Black Country Museum. Turn left off Rolfe Street and you go towards the Canal Heritage Centre. It's based in the pumping station and according to the website is open once a month. The pumping station was used to pump water from this straighter part of the canal constructed by Thomas Telford up to the original higher level. Back at Rolfe Street, it's time to catch the train to continue the journey. Time, though, to note the mural on the wall of the platform opposite. There's an express speeds through before the stopping train to Wolverhampton arrives. The train leaves for Galton Bridge, and the white house that you see on the left is the toll house on Smethwick High Street.
Approaching Smethwick Galton Bridge.
As the train announcement says, we've arrived at our next stop, Smethwick Galton Bridge. Exit the station onto Oldbury Road, and to the right you're looking towards Oldbury. To the left it's towards Tollhouse Way and Smethwick. If you walk towards Smethwick, then just before the traffic island you can turn onto Galton Bridge itself. Walk across the bridge and you can look down Telford's deep cutting to the Galton Canal Tunnel. As you walk down the path to the canal, Galton Bridge comes into view with the railway viaduct behind it. Completed in 1829, Telford's Bridge was the largest single-span bridge over the largest earthworks in the world. The bridge was named after Samuel Galton, a major shareholder. Further up the road, there's a DPD hub. There are 2 or 3 in this area. A modern way of moving goods. Returning over the bridge, there's a train just pulling into Galton Bridge station. Galton Bridge is so near to Smethwick Rolfe Street that if you look back towards Smethwick, you can see the Sikh Gurdwara that was on the High Street. The entrance to Smethwick Galton Bridge is quite modern. The train to Wolverhampton departs from platform 4. Use platform 1 if you want to go to Kidderminster, Worcester, Malvern. On platform 2, trains depart for the Jewellery Quarter, Birmingham Snow Hill and Stratford upon Avon. Down on platform 4, the train has just arrived to take us on to Sandwell and Dudley. Approaching Sandwell and Dudley, it's over the canal and under the M5. Then just before the station, the train passes another DPD hub. Formerly Oldbury Station, Sandwell and Dudley was rebuilt in the early 1980s to accommodate intercity expresses. Just outside the main entrance, and you've got a sign for the Sandwell and Dudley interchange. What relevance the Peacock has to Sandwell and Dudley, I haven't been able to find out. Looking at the sign, it's 25 minutes to West Bromwich for a walk and 10 minutes to Oldbury. So Oldbury it is. It's a walk along Bromford Road. Just before the centre of the town, you come across the big house. It was built in the 1720s and is the oldest building in Oldbury. In 2001-2002, it was refurbished in conjunction with English Heritage. The centre of Oldbury is but a few steps away, with the council house being the most prominent building. Close by is the Sandwell War Memorial, commemorating all those who died in the 2 world wars and other conflicts. Whoops, nearly missed my footing. Paving town centres makes them rather soulless. The large building in the centre is a pub called the Court of Requests. It was once a court, complete with cells. Further on, there's the former Wesleyan Methodist Church, built in 1853, now a New Testament Church of God. On the way back, with the railway bridge in the distance, turn right and you come to Cookson and Gerrard. For 140 years, they've supplied such things as corn plasters. Back at the station, the train's arriving to continue the journey. The next stop will be Dudley Port. Over the canal again, it's closely entwined with the railway on this route. You approach Dudley Port with the platform on the other side of the train. That's because it's an island platform and trains pass either side of it. Walk down the sloping entrance and you're at the main A461. To the left, it's about a 20-minute walk to Great Bridge. To the right, you have the railway viaduct, and the Ryland Canal Aqueduct. The Rylands were a wealthy family of the area. Then the road to Dudley, and on the left a bus stop with a regular service to take you there. The canal and Dudley Port Station are adjacent to one another, lying as it does just a few feet below the track. There's a good view of the road up to Dudley from the canal towpath. Back to the station, and there's the entrance and ticket office. Before going up to the platform, a quick look at the construction work that's going on for the Midland Metro. Dudley Port will be an interchange. From the platform you can see Dudley Castle and the Zoological Gardens, the spire of St Thomas's and St Luke's. The top church is also prominent. Well, here comes the train to take us to our next stop, Tipton. Away we go, and we're once again following the line of the canal. In no time at all, we're pulling into Tipton. Leaving the station, cross the canal bridge, and it's a walk up Owen Street. The large church on the right was built in 1837 and was formerly St Martin and St Paul. A Grade 2 listed building, it is now run as an elite church. Carrying on, there's a shopping area with space for a Tuesday market. Also on Owen Street, there are the headquarters of the Tipton and Coseley Building Society. Founded in 1901, it's still a mutual organisation. Towards the top of Owen Street, by a loop of the canal, there's the Tipton Millennium Anchor. It commemorates the chain and anchor industry from the 1850s to the 1940s. At the top of Owen Street, there's Coronation Gardens, obviously home to a flock of Canada geese. It's also the site of a statue of William Perry, the Tipton Slasher, pugilistic champion of England 1850 to 1857. It's reputed that William Perry used the attic of the Fountain Inn for training. There are more small shops on the way back to the station. The canal just before the station is a nice tranquil area, away from the busier Owen Street. The level crossing that used to cause hold-ups is no more. Traffic now turns right and uses an underpass. Back to the station, and William Perry is even commemorated on the archway. So off we go to Coseley, last stop before Wolverhampton. 3 minutes later, and we're pulling into the station. It used to be a few hundred yards further along the track, and at that time was called Deep Fields and Coseley. It's a delightful little station, with the flowers and verges looked after by the Bayer Street Allotments Group. What looks to be a tool store has an attractive mural, and one of the black horses that used to be seen from the train has found a home here. The backrests of some of the seats have themes: trains, remembrance, and butterflies and insects. Leave the station at Havacre Lane and turn onto Gough Road. The area on the left used to be Cannon Industries Limited. They made domestic gas appliances. It's now the Cannon Business Park and also a karting arena. Further on up Gough Road and you come to Christchurch. It was built in 1830 of Gornal stone on land given by the Earl of Dudley. It has a large churchyard with some Commonwealth war graves. I saw 2 of them. Private William Slater, who died on the 13th of September 1917. The second is Charles Fieldhouse, who died on the 10th of March 1917. Back at the station, there's a line of discs leading down the ramp to the Birmingham platform. The first one explains it. They are lines from the works of John Cornfield, the Coseley poet of the 1800s. There are 3 more on the wall of the ticket office, and the entrance to a nearby park and ride also has some. A passageway between some houses brings you to the ever-present canal. The north end to the canal tunnel is not far away. It was preferred to Telford's idea of a deep cutting. It's some 360 yards long and was opened in 1837. The view above the south end shows how deep the cutting would have been. Both entrances are Grade 2 listed structures, and there are 2 towpaths in the tunnel to enable boats to pass each other without queuing. Back at the station, a West Midlands Railway train is passing through, probably bound for Shrewsbury. There are the halls of residence of Wolverhampton University, our final stop. Waiting for the train, there's just time to notice that the backs of those discs spell out Cosley. Here comes the train, so let's get on. Wolverhampton, here we come. Approaching Wolverhampton, the Mander Centre, St Peter's Church and those halls of residence are all in view. The old low-level station buildings, now a banqueting, wedding and conference venue. And so the train arrives at platform 5. It's the end of the line and the passengers get off. They head off to catch connecting services or into Wolverhampton. After a short wait, the train departs on the return journey, all stops to Birmingham and on to Walsall. So if legend is correct, you've seen more of the Black Country than Queen Victoria did.